Good wishes, dear students. In today's class, we will see the third compounds of boron given for your syllabus, that is diborane. Before we move in to study the preparation and properties of diborane, you need to know from where do we get this diborane with a little knowledge of hydrides. So, I will give you with a little introduction in very short, recollecting to your mind what you have learnt it in standard 11. Now, diborane is a binary compounds of hydrogen, or you can also call it as a binary compounds of hydrides. What's the meaning of hydride? Hydrogen combines with any other element, giving the formation of a hydride molecule. Example, ammonia, nitrogen with a hydrogen, methane, carbon with a hydrogen, hydrogen fluoride, hydrogen with a fluorine. So these are the few examples. Now, as point of interest is, we are going to learn about a boron hydride. Diborane is made up of boron hydride. Here itself you understand boron hydride when you say boron gets attached with a hydrogen, giving us boron hydrides. Now, boron hydrides are also called as a borane. Now, before I move into borane concept, let me tell you, now boron hydride, do they belong to ionic hydride or a covalent hydride or a metallic hydride? Boron hydride belongs to covalent hydride category. You know, ionic hydride, the transfer of electron takes place from metal to the hydrogen. In covalent hydride, sharing of electron takes place here. Now further, covalent hydride, there are three other subcategory, that is electron precise hydride, electron deficient hydride and electron rich hydride. So boron hydrides are electron deficient hydride. So quickly I'll sum up to here. Diborane is the binary compound of hydrides. Hydrides meaning hydrogen combining with any other element. So boron hydride is one of such binary compound. Now boron hydride falls under covalent hydride, meaning here sharing of electron takes place between the elements. Under covalent hydride, boron hydrides are electron deficient molecule. Now boron hydrides also called as boranes. Boranes are further divided into two categories based on this formula that I have written. One is BnHn plus 4, the other one BnHn plus 6. If I take the formula to be 2 here, n to be 2, 2 plus 4 will be 6. So I get the molecular formula B2H6. If I take n to be 4, 4 plus 6 will be 10. So I get the formula B4H10. There are plenty of types of boranes based on these two categories. Out of it, the most common one is diborane, what is given for your syllabus. So this is the little introduction. Let's move on to our topic here. So diborane. And one more thing children, today's class will be little longer one. I expect you all and I wish that you will stay back and learn it along with me. I don't want to rush up for the sake of completing. It will take little time to explain today's concept for you all. Okay, let me come back to the topic. Diborane, the formula is B2H6. If you look for the, what type of formula is being followed here? If you take here n to be 2, 2 plus 4 will be 6 here. So the formula followed here is Bn Hn plus 4. 1 mark point of view, you need to know that. So diborane formula is given. Now as usual, when we move on to the preparation, there are two preparation. The first one is an industrial preparation. Now industrial preparation, metal hydride. You treat with a boron, you get a diborane. Now the second one, so when you want to prepare in a smaller quantity, so smaller quantity preparation, there again two different procedures you've got. The first one, sodium borohydride. You need to know the formula, but before writing the formula, you need to know the reactants that you are taking. So sodium borohydride, you treat with the iodine. I get a diborane. By now you know the formula for a diborane, B2H6 plus sodium iodide plus hydrogen. And one more thing I wanted to tell, in the preparation of diborane, hydrogen will, when we treat with the boron hydrides, hydrogen will be released here. So sodium borohydride, I treat with the iodine, I get boron, diborane, sodium iodide, and hydrogen is being released. Now this reaction takes place in the presence of diglyme. What's the purpose of diglyme? It acts as a chelate or a solvent, or in other words you can say it forms a bridge between the two reactants. Sodium borohydride is one of the reactant, iodine is another reactant. So to form the diborane product, this diglyme acts as a chelate or a bridge between the two reactants. Now the second preparation, magnesium boride. Here you take sodium borohydride. Here you take a magnesium boride. You treat with a HCl. Magnesium boride gives you magnesium chloride, and tetraborane you get. Diborane formula B2H6. Tetraborane is B4H10, and as usual hydrogen is being released here. Now this tetraborane is volatile borane, and this volatile borane further when you treat with the hydrogen you get a diborane. So these are the two preparations along with an industrial preparation. As usual, after preparation we are moving on to the properties. In 1 mark point of view, plenty of points to be remembered here. Point number 1, it's a colorless dimagnetic compound. Point number 2, low thermal stability, meaning it undergoes pyrolysis frequently. What's the meaning of pyrolysis? That is thermal decomposition of the material at elevated temperature. So when the temperature increases, the compound that is formed gets decomposed. So that's called as a pyrolysis, because in 1 mark point of view the point will be asked for you all. So point number 1, colorless dimagnetic compound. Point number 2, low thermal stability. When you increase the temperature, pyrolysis takes place. Meaning of pyrolysis, it gets decomposed here. And at a gas term, in room temperature, it is a gas, and it exhibits a sweet smell, and it's a highly toxic. And the next point is diboranes are highly reactive. So diboranes are gas at room temperature. They have a sweet smell and they are highly toxic, and they are also highly reactive. Now all this is at a room temperature. When we increase the temperature, higher boranes are formed and it liberates hydrogen. As I kept telling hydrogen is being liberated here. So this is what we are moving in to see. Now to understand at higher temperature how higher boranes are formed, you need to know little clues. Okay, let me take the tips before I show you the reactions. Now all you have to do, in 1 mark point of view, the temperature conditions are very, very important. Balancing the equation, most of you have become master of it, so you will not have any difficulties. But when it comes to remembering the temperature condition, purposely I have given the name of the compound product being formed. So if you know the name, writing the formula will be easier for you all. So everywhere, now these are properties we are learning about, okay. So diborane, what's the formula for a diborane? B2H6. So diborane, when I treat it with the temperature condition is 388 Kelvin, I get a pentaborane. Diborane, when the temperature is between 198 to 373 Kelvin, tetraborane I get, and the temperature is now 373 here and 373 here, I get a decaborane. When the temperature is 573 to 523 Kelvin, I get a nidopentaborane. I will tell you the formulas. I just want you all to know the names of it here. And when the temperature is 523 Kelvin, I get again nidopentaborane along with some other compounds of borane I get. Hydrides of borane I get. and when the temperature is red hot, that is the highest temperature, we get back, we get boron here. So why I gave you the tips here is, if you look at this particular page here, now this is the reaction, formation of, now what's the point we had taken? At higher temperature, it forms a higher boranes and liberates hydrogen. Now this is the tips I gave you, because all you have to remember is at what temperature condition, what type of higher borane is being formed here. So now if we move in here, formation, the same thing what I have explained to you, the same thing what I have explained to you, I have put down in the forms of a formula here. So directly when you look at it, it will be confusing you. If you remember this chart and come back to this formula, learning will be easier for you all. So diborane, temperature condition is 388 Kelvin and it takes place in the U-tube. It's a kind of apparatus here. I get a pentaborane. Everywhere hydrogen gas is being released. All you have to remember is the molecular formula for what type of borane. Pentaborane. Pentaborane formula is B5H11. Balancing, you can do it on your own. Next one, when the temperature condition is 198 to 373 Kelvin, I get a tetraborane. What's the formula for a tetraborane? B4H10. When the temperature condition is 373 Kelvin, the sealed tube, here it's a U-tube, the temperature condition, and it's a sealed tube, I get a decaborane. So this is pentaborane, B5 you remember, B4 tetraborane, B10 decaborane, and when the temperature condition is 473 to 523 Kelvin, you get a nidopentaborane. If you see this here, I have stressed the word. Let me take some color pen. Okay. Now, this is also pentaborane and this is also written pentaborane. But this called as a, because here hydrogen is 11 atoms of hydrogen. Here only 9 atoms of hydrogen. So, it's called as a nidopentaborane. Now, further, when the temperature is increased to 523 Kelvin, I get the nidopentaborane. And when it is a red hot, we get a boron here. So, if you look at it as the equation, it will be difficult for you all. But if you remember like this chart, it's easy for you all to understand. Please remember, temperature condition is a very, very important. 1 mark questions are asked based on the temperature condition. They will give you diborane, gives you tetraborane. What's the suitable temperature? So, you will have to write down this one. Now, next we'll move on to formation of boric acid. Now boric acid, what we have learnt it in the previous class there. So diborane, you treat with the water. I get a boric acid plus hydrogen is being released. I kept on telling you, diborane releases hydrogen. Either in the preparation of diborane or a properties of diborane, hydrogen will be released here. So boric acid, when I treat diborane with the water, I get a boric acid. Now, formation of metaborate. Do you remember metaborate, what you learnt earlier? So, this one happens when you react with an alkali. Under boric acid, you saw when you treat with 1 mole of sodium hydroxide, you get a sodium metaborate. When you treat with 2 moles of sodium hydroxide, you get a sodium tetraborate. It's something like that. Diborane, you treat with the sodium hydroxide and water. So, you get a sodium metaborate plus hydrogen is being released here. Now, action of air. This point is a very important in terms of 1 mark question. Pure diborane does not react with air or oxygen. But impure diborane reacts with oxygen, gives a B2O3. Do you remember the glassy mass or boric anhydride or a boron oxide or boron trioxide? They all come up to the same molecular formula. So, the impure diborane treats with oxygen, giving rise to boron oxide or boric anhydride, anything you can call it, and the water form, it gives the water, and lot of energy, heat is being released. And in terms of 1 mark point of view, here again you have to know this, that the amount of energy we released is minus 2165 kilojoules per mole. Next we'll move on to reaction with a methyl alcohol. So diboramine, when you treat with a methyl alcohol, you get here methyl boryl alkyl, you get alkyl borate, you get along with the hydrogen is being released here. Now the next question, it's a very important question. You have it in inorganic chemistry. The same concept you will be learning in your organic chemistry chapter 1, preparation of alcohol. Now if you see the double bond, you know it stands for an alkene. So preparation of alcohol from alkene, preparation of alcohol from alkyne. So you will be learning it. All you have to remember is diborane. R stands for alkyl group. So when you treat with either with an alkene or alkyne, the condition should be ether solvent should be taken and the temperature should be of room temperature. We get here a product we get. Now this product is called, used in a synthetic organic chemistry. As I told you most of the time, preparation of alcohol, this hydroboration method is used here. So since we have written only R here, we are not going in for the naming the product here. So it is suitable for an hydroboration method is suitable for alkene and alkyne and used in synthetic organic chemistry. And what type of mechanism is being followed here? Anti-Markovnikov addition. Do you remember what you have learnt in standard 11? Markovnikov addition. Negative group moves to the carbon that has got a least number of hydrogen. Now when you say anti-Markovnikov addition, the negative group between the two, we don't know which one is the negative one. The negative group goes to the carbon with the highest number of hydrogen. We will see it in detail under organic chemistry. I'm just giving you the point here. So if they ask you, write about hydroboration, all you have to write is diborane when you treat with either alkene or alkyne in ether solvent at room temperature, we get a synthetic organic chemistry. The mechanism being followed here is anti-Markovnikov addition. So I've just given a point for you. Preparation of alcohol, the same concept we will be learning in detail. The next one, important concept in 1 mark point of view, reaction with ionic hydride. When I gave you the introduction, I told you covalent hydride, sharing of electron takes place between the metal and hydrogen. When you say ionic hydride, transfer of electron takes place. So diborane, I treat with the lithium hydride. In the presence of ether, I get lithium borohydride. Diborane, treating it with the sodium hydride. In the presence of diglyme, do you remember usage of diglyme? It acts as a chelate or a bridge. I get a sodium borohydride. Now these are called as a metal borohydride. How do we get a metal borohydride? When we treat diborane with a ionic hydride. It can be lithium, sodium, anything either from alumino. Ionic hydride if you take, you get the metal borohydride. Now diglyme, the expansion of this formula will be dimethyl ether of diethylene glycol. This is not for your syllabus. I have just written diglyme we get from dimethyl ether of diethylene glycol. Now reaction with ammonia, another important concept. There are two reactions for you. Reaction at a lower temperature and reaction at a higher temperature. Both are very important for you. You can see the number of notations I have made here. Diborane, I treat with ammonia. I'm sorry, I forgot to put one more word. Excess of ammonia, but the temperature should be of lower temperature. I get diborane diammonate. The formulas I have written and I have also balanced the equation. You need to, in chemistry, learning certain formulas you cannot omit. You have to learn it. So reaction with ammonia at lower temperature, excess of ammonia should be taken. Lower temperature, you get diborane diammonate. Two different two ways of writing the formulas are given. And at higher temperature, and it's a closed vessel, you get B3N3H6. Now this is called as a borazole, inorganic benzene. The structure of it is like this. So I've got how many borons? I've got 3 atoms of boron, 3 atoms of nitrogen, 6 atoms of hydrogen. So 1, 2, 3, 3 atoms of boron. Then I've got 3 atoms of nitrogen, 6 atoms of hydrogen I've got. This also can be written when you say inorganic benzene, when you say, you need to show the alternate double bond character. The structure of it we are not going in detail, only the outlet structure is given to you all. Inorganic benzene, when you see, you can show it with an existing alternative double bond along with a positive and negative charge. The same thing, B3, boron 1, 2, 3, nitrogen 1, 2, 3, with the number of hydrogen is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Today's class is a longer one, but children, please watch it again and again till you absorb the concept given here. Thank you.